What's up?
Nick, has Tampa changed what they do offensively since Evans and Godwin went down?
A little bit. I think their system and what they do, it's a good system. I think he operates well in it with how they run the ball and how he throws it. There's some little changes because obviously those guys can do some things outside, but they're pretty consistent in what they do.
One of your starting safeties is 24, and the other is 22 years old. And obviously they're making plays, but are they also making mistakes that you would expect young safeties, inexperienced safeties to make? And was that something that we were seeing at the end of the Cowboys season?
I mean, no one's perfect, period. But when the guys are young, and the one thing that's cool about them that you guys ask about them and that I say weekly is that they do get better and they learn every week. And even with Tig, he came in midway through the season, so really he's kind of played a year now. So he is a young safety. I'm glad you say it like that. But he's played a lot of ball too. I think those guys have accelerated their growth. They care a lot. They continue to communicate well, but it's not perfect. And I think a lot, getting a lot of young guys playing time early, even early in the season when we were kind of rotating some guys, it's starting to pay the dividends, and that's where you see them making plays. They're feeling more confident, and that's been good.
You've seen that play out over your playing career, your coaching career, where a rookie maybe plays a lot of snaps early on, and then by December, January perhaps, he's.
I mean, you hope it should. The main thing is they earn the snaps that they got, and they are making plays. You want to see them they should continue to get better, and ideally that's how it should be. Otherwise, then you play someone else.
Do you expect Deshaun Gibson back in the building might help, just even with little things with those young guys?
I think it's huge. I mean, he started for us the last 2 years. He's a great dude. He's played a ton of ball. He's taken it with like 33 career picks. He's had a ton of success, and he's a great guy. And just having him back, I think everyone was real excited to see him. I think he's excited to be here and be back and, feel like he didn't leave. And we're just excited to have him back, see how he feels. He hasn't done a whole lot, so we'll just kind of figure it out as we go.
How much growth have you seen from Malik and Jair just in this season so far in the first half?
What was the first part? How much what?
Growth have you seen from those two, your two young safeties just in the first half of the season?
A lot. I mean, the more that we can let those guys play free and fast, then you see them show up, and I think that's what you see out of Malik too. And the more they play, they're going to play that way, and they start to expect things, and it's not the first time they've seen something. So the acceleration's been great.
Sam Okwanu, would you say, are you surprised that he's been this good?
Saw the promise of what was in his body kind of in the offseason and how he gets off and stuff, and then you were hoping to see the physicality in training camp. Then you did. Then he had the injury. So we had the expectations and the hopes. It's just now he's done it a little bit, so we want to see him keep doing it. That's the challenge for him is, okay, we've done a couple things, but we need to see it consistently, and then, seeing the growth of how he's moved inside and been an interior guy as well in some of those pass rush situations has been really cool because, he hasn't played a ton of football. He's still fairly new to it, but he cares a lot, and he's an explosive dude that plays physical and loves ball, so it's been good so far.
I ask you because, his background in being late to football, are there things, could you say he's still raw or in some ways, or is there more potential just because of his relative inexperience?
Yeah, I think so, of course, and especially since he never really worked, inside and how he picks stuff up quick. But Kasera, coaches him hard, and he likes that. Most of our guys do, that they're receptive to it. And those are the guys that can accelerate when they take all the coaching and then they apply it. That's something that he's done a good job with and that he can handle is when he gets coached, he applies it and then plays fast. He's a smart guy, so he's picked it up quick. That's what's the good thing about him. It makes sense to him.
He added the defensive tackle at the trade deadline. What do you like about Khalil, and kind of where do you see him fitting in that group?
Yeah, where he fits in, we'll see. We still want to see, some more. I think he's just had the one, shorter practice yesterday without pads. So the cool thing is he's an explosive guy. He's twitched up. He's been in our system, and he's had production. So we'll just kind of go from there and figure out how he fits. It's always good to add depth to a position like that of a good player.
Anything that you've noticed in terms of how Kyle's team's approach of bye that allows for the team to be pretty successful after the bye, other than the fact that the teams are pretty good. But what do you think about the way you guys handle a bye?
I don't know if it's anything extraordinarily different. I think, he just stays consistent in how he talks to the players and talks to the coaches. I think he's just really consistent in, the main thing with Kyle is it's, continuing to coach and continuing to get better, and it's staying on it every day. And some people can get in a lull, and I don't think we ever allow that to happen here. And it's you never think too far ahead. You don't look back too far to think negatively either. It's just what's happening right now and how can we get better in, this day, this practice, and what is it going to take to win this game. And I don't think it's any magic potion other than you get a bye and you rest up. And I think a lot of that goes to our players and how they handle byes too, because they usually use that the right way. If guys use it the right way, you should come back feeling pretty good.
He said he wants the coaches to get away from each other for a couple of days.
No.
Did you do that too, or did you?
Oh, yeah. No, he's good about that. Yes, I did. Spend time with the family. It was nice.
How much stress can a guy like Christian McCaffrey being on the field put on a defense if you're planning against him?
Christian, I remember going up against him a few times before he came here. He's a tough matchup problem. I mean, in the pass game, but he's also just an awesome runner. He has great vision. He's not some guy that you think is smaller that won't hit it inside. He's got great vision. Obviously, his ability to cut and run and break tackles, but he's also really tough. But the obvious one is how he can do so many different things in the pass game.
They have three backs that are all pretty good.
Yeah.
Are there any trends in how they utilize the three of them?
I think for them, they're all so versatile, and I just love the mindset of how they play. And I think a lot of it kind of matriculates off of how tough and competitive Baker is. And, I think that just permeates through the whole team, just a competitive group. Those guys all run with energy. They can cut it anywhere. They play tough, even though they're not huge guys. I think they will play big, in the finish, whether it's breaking tackles or dipping a shoulder when they need to, which is kind of like how Baker plays. If it's third down or something, he will dip a shoulder on you. And I think that's the cool thing that we respect about this team is they're just competitive, tough guys. Like regardless of, the noise of the two really good receivers they don't have, it's a competitive group, and you saw it last week, and you continue to see it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
How much more do you get out of pass protection when you have Christian McCaffrey on the field?
How much more
Pass protection do you get?
pass protection help, or like how good does he do? I think all the guys do a really good job. I'd put him in the category. Christian's always done a good job with protection, but I think the other guys do a good job as well. So I don't think there's much of an uptick. Everything's an uptick with Christian. I'm not going to joke, right? Everything gets a little bit better with him, obviously. But I wouldn't say it's that big a difference.
Is there a player in the league quite like Vita Vea in terms of
No.
size?
No, I'm trying to think of one. Big guy from Baltimore last year, Pierce, I think his name is. He was a similar player, big guy. Vita Vea is one of a kind. I remember last time we played him up here, was it last year? It was last year, 2 years ago. I don't remember which game it was. It might have been 2 years ago. They said he was sick pregame, like he wasn't going to play. Like we're all hopeful. And I go out there and he's playing. What's that game where they kick the bag around? Hacky sack. I mean, he looks like a middle schooler playing hacky sack. He's 350 pounds, kicking the ball in the air. It's unbelievable how good he is. He's really, really talented, very, very agile for such a big, gigantic man.
What's it like when they line him up sometimes, like as an edge rusher? I mean, what kind of challenge is that? And is it?
Well, it's hard, yeah. Obviously, you can get some more help. Sometimes you can get a little more help to him with a back or a tight end as well. It is scary to think that he has a running head start at the quarterback, but I did say this morning, it's like we don't want him. He's got that direct line to the quarterback right over the center in the A gap. It makes it difficult. He's a challenge for everybody.
Does he remind you of anyone, maybe not in the NFL, but
Well, the thing is, these guys today have become better pass rushers. I mean, there's some great players in the past. I'm not quite sure they were as big as him, but I won't go through the list of guys due to time today. But the guy is an edge. He can get on an edge and be a good rusher as well as a power guy, which makes him unique.
How about Elijah Cansey? He had a couple sacks last week. He's not the same build, but he's a really effective player.
Guys are excellent pass rushers on the edge. They've got good length. They've got good speed. They're great speed to power guys, kind of like the guys from the Rams do a good job with that. They're up the field. They have long arms. They're able to push the pocket and condense the pocket. This team can condense the pocket and make it collapse ready. Then Todd Bowles does a great job with his pressure package as well, where guys come free and create some issues as well.
How has Feliciano looked in practice, and have you been looking at him more as a center this year versus a year ago?
Nope, he's same. He's right now. He's competing. He's trying to get well, and see where he is in his progression as far as rehabilitation towards being active. We're looking at him right now as the backup center guard. So if something were happening at guard, he could go in. Something at center go in. Definitely not looking at him at this point in a starting capacity. He's in a backup capacity at this time for as well as the guys that are playing in the interior three at this point. But yet we're great to have John because we have a true starter in a backup role. Nick Sorensen, who's been playing that role as a backup center, and then Spencer being the backup third guard. I think we feel like we have a guy that's started and played more football at both positions, and it's great to have as a backup.
Well before you got here in 2018, Jarek McKinnon had signed here and got hurt right before the season. Kyle had said at the time, like, really kind of blew up all of our plans of what we did the whole season. Has there been a similar thing with Christian this year where it's made it difficult to kind of just readapt your offense because you don't have as many variables with what you can do with him?
I don't think it feels the same way. I think that there's other players that have kind of learned from Christian a year ago. We had, Christian was not in and out last year, but guys had to step in and we had to continue to play with JP or whoever if Christian was in and out of the game and things like that. So I think we felt real confident that without Christian there, we all know that he brings a whole different dynamic to how we can game plan and how defenses approach us. So yeah, the defense may approach us differently, but I don't think it caught us quite as, I think at that point, and I wasn't here to remember exactly, but I think it was a little bit more like, gosh, we were really counting on him, and without him, there really wasn't somebody else that was going to pick up that slack that we had counted for him to do. I think we have guys now that can kind of do a little bit, albeit as not as much or as good.
Buys here differently than maybe in other places you've been. I mean, the record here with post buy is pretty good.
You know what? It's changed because the league kind of said what to do. I remember our first year in Tampa, going back. Now this is back in the dark ages, but the 1990s. Holy cow, yeah! But we actually full practices because we were 1-8. We didn't play. So Dungy was like, "Let's go out there. We're starting from square one," and we just did full padded practices all the way till Friday, right? How time has changed, right? So now the league slowly mandates less and less time for us to be able to be available, that the players are able to work. So we kind of go off what the league does and what they say, and we're really hesitant to do much banging around in the bye weeks, and I think it's paid off okay. I think it's coming back from the bye that's so critical and important as to how you can take care of your players coming back.
How's Christian looking? How's he feeling? And then how's the team responding to him being back?
Everybody's always positive to have him back. It's always good to have a great player back on the field working with you. And when he's out there, it's just, he practices so hard and everything's right. I mean, that's the thing you see is that, like, all of a sudden you run his zone play, and as well as Christian and Isaac have done and the other guys, it's like all of a sudden it's just bam, bam, and he hits the hole right in time, perfect timing, perfect pacing of the play, catches some balls down the field and things like that. And then, so it's nice. It's a process getting ready to play. So there'll be no decisions made until later in the week, obviously. But having him back out, just being out there and practicing like you've asked is really, really cool for the whole team. It energizes everybody. At the same sense, you always got to temper that too, because you just don't know, as a guy's trying to get his feet back under him, is he going to be ready to go?
Bulls likes a blitz-heavy scheme. Is it different than what Minnesota does? Both are kind of blitz-heavy teams.
Different. It's different. I can't explain it exactly why, but there's some similarities, and I think there's a little bit of give and take. Like Todd's gravitated a little bit towards some of the things that he's seen Flores doing, and then vice versa. So Flores has always kind of done what he's done, but similar, but it's not like identical. For
just having Christian on the practice field help those younger guys in terms of whether it's route running or just the little techniques and how to hit a hole.
They've all seen it before. This is the first time for Isaac getting a full dose of it, so I think it'll help to see him and see how he practices, see how he plays, see how he prepares, all those things. Yeah.
Good. All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.